What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today we're covering the latest after UFC Abu Dhabi. What's next for Magomed Ankalaev, reactions across the light heavyweight division, new fight announcements, Chenko Zaynukov's debut, Khamzat Chimaev still hunting Sean Strickland, the Silva controversy, and Sean O'Malley's bold prediction for Islam Makhachev versus Garry. Before we dive in, drop a like to support the channel. Yesterday, Magomed Ankalaev put away Bogdan Guskov in dominating fashion, but the reaction was mixed. The Abu Dhabi crowd was booing, and many blamed Guskov for not engaging. Guskov stepped in on short notice, yet took almost no risks. Magomed himself was cautious early before opening up later. The stoppage itself looked odd, normal strikes, and the referee suddenly waved it off. As a former champion, Ankalaev should be next for the title. Some fans disagree after this performance, but the UFC may still book him against Carlos Ulberg. Ulberg was in attendance and told Paramount, "Congrats to Ankalaev. I saw what I needed to see, and I'll do everything that I need to do to make sure I get back in there. Nothing is sort of dominant at this moment." Ulberg is targeting an early 2027 return. Daniel Cormier agreed the fifth-round finish could have earned Ankalaev another title shot against Ulberg. But Ankalaev may not want to wait. In the post-fight presser, he pointed to Paulo Costa. "I'm already the #1 contender. If the champion will be out for some time, maybe we can have a good fight with Costa, unless he's going to be running away." Costa had called the fight boring, so this matchup would be interesting. Ankalaev also fired back at Alex Pereira. After Pereira joked about his silence, Ankalaev said at the presser and later on social media, "If Chama wants the fight, the UFC would be happy to make it." He added, "You talk a lot, but we both know you never want to fight me. If you're a real man, accept the fight. An interim title is fine with me too." Ulberg later posted on Instagram, "Ank versus Garry. Give them both a full camp. Costa versus Roundtree. By the time the dust settles, I'll be ready. See you in 2027. Next weekend, the UFC heads to Serbia. Renato Moicano is not happy that Leo Garcia reported his fight against Brian Ortega. Moicano tweeted that he only confirms fights when the UFC announces them and asked media not to spread rumors. Garcia replied that reporting is his job. Valter Walker keeps calling out Herb Dean after his first-round calf slicer win, even posting AI videos of himself tapping the referee. New fights announced. Patricio Pitbull Freire versus Doo Ho Choi at UFC 331. Dan Ige versus David Martinez on the September 12th NOCA card. RAF Wrestling. Merab Dvalishvili versus Henry Cejudo rematch on August 22nd in Cleveland. Bilal Muhammad versus Colby Covington on September 19th in Miami. Expect fireworks before they even wrestle. Magomed Chenko Zaynukov made his UFC debut against undefeated Damian Japeski. No spectacular finish, but Chenko showed why many rate him highly. Nasty elbows, punches, and front kicks, while Japeski showed heart despite a bloody face. In the post-fight interview, Chenko noted the Team Topuria versus Team Nurmagomedov angle and declared his team better. He told the press conference that if locked in a room with Topuria, Topuria would have no chance because of the life they live in Makhachkala. He also warned he has wrestling, not just striking. Khabib and Islam both congratulated him immediately after the fight, with Khabib noting he missed a takedown. Dylan Dennis wants revenge on John Pork, but Dana White has already made clear Dennis will never fight in the UFC. Khamzat Chimaev is still pushing for Sean Strickland. He said in Abu Dhabi he could fight him today. "We're training, waiting for Strickland to come out of his house. I'm always in the gym." Nassourdine Imavov claims the UFC has told him he gets Strickland next, while Dricus du Plessis wants a third fight. A Chimaev rematch would be the biggest fight commercially, even if some fans don't want it after the first close bout ended with some reconciliation. Chimaev is training with different coaches in LA and Dubai, focusing more on strength and conditioning, but he downplayed any major style change. Sean Strickland, Bilal Muhammad, and others went off on Silva after Silva posted photos from Israel with soldiers. Strickland wrote on X, "How much money would it take for you to kiss the wall in Israel? When I see Americans kiss the wall, it makes my skin crawl. It feels very wrong." Silva replied that he was there to support his longtime sparring partner Ella, who has a Contender Series opportunity, and he refused to abandon his teammate despite the expected hate. Sean O'Malley predicts Garry will upset Islam Makhachev at UFC 330. He said Garry is big, long, and confident. Khabib has already called Garry a hard matchup. O'Malley also warned that if Makhachev wins the same way he beat JDM, it could hurt the GOAT conversation. Meanwhile, Ali Abdelaziz mocked Garry after his brother's public call-out and Eddie Hearn's image management role. How's that working out? What a clown show. Dana White posted, "The only real toxic masculinity is the absence of masculinity." That's it for today's news. Check the previous video on screen if you missed it. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow with more MMA updates.